Alrighty, good morning. My name is Tanner Harless from Point of Impact Knife Throwing. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. I planned on making this video outside, but it's a little cold. I don't really like the cold too much, so here we go. Here's my scenic background. Hopefully that, suits your fancy. But specifically today, what I want to hone in on is how to get started in knife throwing, specifically how to pick your tool of the trade. As you can see in front of me here, there's a lot of variations, so let's talk about what you should be looking for. Unfortunately, the media has kind of taught us that the fancier something looks, the more effective it's going to be. However, in many cases, and especially in the case of knife throwing, simplicity is often better, and in this case, not only more effective, but also quite a bit safer. If I showed you these two knives here, on my right, your left, I have this more Hollywood kind of kunai knife that you typically see in your favorite action movie, maybe a Samurai Ninja Showdown, things like that. And on my left here, we have this giant spike that weighs dang near the same as a baseball. I'll talk about why that's important later. It doesn't look the most visually appealing. However, when you're looking at these two, this one here on the right not only is going to halt your progress if you're trying to get better, but also can be kind of dangerous to your health as well. So looking at that, let's talk specifically why knives like these are something you should probably avoid. So there's two things you really need in a good knife. The first of which is weight. At the end of the day, there's no real perfect number, as individual feel is what makes the biggest difference. But what I usually try to equate the perfect weight to is about the same as a baseball, as I kind of mentioned before. The other thing you'll need to avoid, at first that is sharpened edges. These can be quite dangerous for inexperienced throwers and can lead to some pretty nasty cuts if you're not being careful. Truthfully, the only advantage that you'll find here is the price. You can usually get about 5 or 6 of these for about 20 bucks, but even then I would just invest in one really good one for about the same price. Now that we've seen the maybe not so great one, let's talk about what you should be aiming for in your first knife. Alright, I know what you might be thinking. Tanner, that's not even really a knife. And to that I say, why not? Also, have you learned nothing? Jokes aside though, this isn't your standard throwing knife, but it can be used the same way. This large nail-shaped blade also represents all the qualities you would want in a quality knife. It's heavy, not sharp on the edges, and will last you a lifetime. You can literally throw knives like this at concrete walls, and it's just gonna walk it off like absolutely nothing happened. As you can see here, this is what a more refurbished version of this knife would look like. This one here has a bit more of a point to it, more of your kind of Bowie knife shape. This is made by AceJet, which is the company of the world-class knife thrower Adam Celadon. So once again, much higher quality, but even then, when you're first starting out, you don't need something this fancy. Something that's gonna last you is going to be the priority. All right, both of them may seem unimpressive at first, but once again, they more than excel at getting the job done. All right, you bored yet? Yeah, me too. Let's go have a little practical demonstration and see the differences between these two knives. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of cold out there, and I'm not really a big fan of that, but for you guys, for the sake of the content and your understanding, I'm willing to make that sacrifice. Anyways though, jokes aside, I do hope this video was both informative and hopefully entertaining. I do what I can with the resources I have available. Once again, as you can see, maybe not the most optimal setting to be recording a video, but going back to the entire point of knife throwing and why it's so beautiful, it doesn't have to be fancy. As long as you're enjoying yourself, putting forth effort, you will improve, and I guarantee you'll have a good time. Anyways, everyone, as I said, I hope you have a wonderful day. This has been Tanner from Point of Impact Knife Throwing. Check out the blog linked in the channel description for more detailed explanations on knife throwing, as well as some pretty fun anecdotes and stories that go along with the hobby. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you next time.